I appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself, my goals, and why I'm seeking your vote. I'm relatively new to Reston, but I've lived in the Northern Virginia communities for about 20 years. My wife and I are frequent users of the many amenities here, like the courts, trails, lakes, pools, and the open spaces. But more importantly, we have 2 young kids growing up here and a vested interest in getting involved to preserve what makes Reston special for future generations. Experience-wise, I have served 4 years on community associations boards with similar but smaller set of amenities. I also have 10 years supporting public company boards and committees. These experiences have given me a strong understanding of governance, fiscal oversight, and long-term planning, skills that are essential as Reston navigates challenges ahead. Reston is a special place, I think we can all agree, but it's also at a critical point. The association faces rising costs driven by inflation, aging infrastructure that must be planned for over decades, and ongoing development pressures. Thankfully, we have a highly capable management team and staff of professionals that do amazing work to address the issues of the day and plan for the future. But they need the support, guidance, and strategic input from the community through the board of directors to shape this future. If elected, I will prioritize fiscal responsibility, investments in our infrastructure, and preserving open spaces, and improving member engagement. Our members deserve a board that listens, responds, and makes decisions with community input at the forefront. I look forward to tonight's discussion and earning your support.
Good evening, all. My name is Michael Lanza, and I'm running for the North Point Board of Directors seat. I'm running for the seat to serve the community and build upon the accomplishments of the past 60 years of Reston. Reston has been a model to other communities throughout the Commonwealth and country due to our great amenities, emphasis on open space preservation, and our live, work, and play atmosphere. Over the past few years, I have had the honor of serving the community through the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. During this span, we saw the tremendous success of the community survey and have been striving to implement the desires of the community. I am a local professional civil engineer specializing in land development, planning, and zoning in Fairfax County and the surrounding municipalities. My career experience provides a unique perspective on the planning and development process. Environmental stewardship and resource protection are ingrained in my professional and personal decision-making and fundamental to Reston's continued success. As a board member, my primary goals would be pursuing a budget with emphasis on member needs and anticipating future community advancements. I would seek to enhance Reston for everyone. I would defend our beautiful open spaces, natural water amenities, and trails. I would advocate for Reston Association by partnering and collaborating with Fairfax County and prospective developers to benefit us, the members of Reston Association. I believe master planning is critical in guiding a community like ours. It provides us, the community, an avenue to implement the enhancements we desire while maintaining a reasonable budget. Further, I believe a casino does not have a place in Reston, and I will continue to oppose it. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and look forward to further introducing myself. Thank you.
I'll firmly oppose the casino. Just no ifs, ands, or buts. I think that's the community response. No casino in our neighborhood. The golf courses. I think golf courses are recognized open spaces, and I think it's vitally important that we preserve open spaces. And then the VDOT soapstone connector. If I recall, the plan for that impacts the golf courses. It's a connector that goes to, forgetting the street name, but it cuts through and creates a grid of streets, which impacts the golf courses. So back to point B, impacts the golf courses. I think it's something that we need to understand very closely before agreeing to.
So starting off, as I mentioned in my opening statements, I'm firmly against the casino. I don't think that brings a reasonable benefit to outweigh the cons that also come with it to our community. I do think it's important that we have commercial development in Reston. as that is what allows Reston to be a live, work, and play community. But I do not think they should be replacing the active recreation spaces of our golf courses that we have. I think those are fundamental to why people enjoy Reston, and it's important to preserve those. And regarding the Soapstone Road connection, I think it's important that we're able to have an open dialogue with VDOT and discuss some traffic calming devices, such as curb bump outs or different signage that could allow for better pedestrian and bicycle network connectivity.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, the assessment fee, I know that that's a perennial topic. And it's, Michael mentioned, it's gone up every year. I think there's a number of different drivers for that, and we should look at those drivers. Some of them are inflationary, so that's going to be really, really hard to tackle. Some of them are expansion of scope of services, so I think we need to take a look at the services that we provide. Generally speaking, though, I think the community survey suggests that we don't want to decrease the number of services. We don't want to reduce the number of pools. We don't want to reduce the amenities that we have. We don't want to sell resources in order to raise funds. So it's a hard question to preserve the assessment at a low rate. But I think that there's things that we can do. There's strategies with non-assessment revenues that we can look at. Things like camps, lessons, and value add back to the community that can help offset the cost of the assessment.
So I'd like to start by just correcting a previous statement I made regarding the assessment. I had the wrong numbers in my head. There was not a drastic increase over the past few years, but as Matt had mentioned, it has steadily increased along with inflation and just the cost of living in general. And I think something that can help maintain the annual assessment, if not potentially lower it, is look at master planning. This is a way we can plan our budget multiple years in the future by knowing what improvements may be coming up. That way it's not a surprise when something happens and we need to spike assessment the next year. If we've been planning over the long term in order to address these issues, it would be a smooth, gentle curve. I think that's very important as a strategic oversight board, and I think the first step would be having a board retreat. I know that's been pushed for in the past, and I think that'd be a good way for the potential new members, Matt and I, as well as the incumbent members, to get on the same page and understand what direction we're looking to head in and see where compromises can be made for the benefit of the community.
Yeah, I echo the board retreat. In my, I guess, business practice, I think it's important to get everybody in the same place at the same time, and have an opportunity to learn about the person as an individual in a non-work setting. So number one, I think it's important to get to know the board members in a way that's meaningful, understand what makes, what their drivers, what their goals are, and talk to each other like human beings, talk to each other with respect, with dignity. I think the board is comprised of 9 people who bring various different backgrounds together. Everybody should be heard, and at the end of the day, we come together to make a decision, and it's, every person has a vote.
Many board meetings are 4 to 6 hours, with large portions of the meeting being an executive session. How do you plan to play a role in ensuring the meetings are transparent and not more than 2 to 3 hours long? We are going to we're going to begin with you, Matt.
Okay, that's an excellent question. Again, I've been watching the board of directors meetings for the last 2 years after moving to the area, and I agree. The meetings are long. There's a long pause for the executive session. I think and then there's a flurry of amendment or motions that occur immediately after the executive session. That's by design in a certain way, but it leaves a lot to be desired to the members when there's not transparency. I can understand some of the rationale, but I think we need to bring some of the conversations where it makes sense out from behind the executive session, or bring greater transparency about exactly what is being discussed, maybe not the details, but at least have some openness so that the members understand what is being discussed.
I think that is a very difficult hurdle. It was actually one of my largest concerns when thinking about running, was looking at these 4, 5, 6 hour meetings on a work night and getting up and going to work. But I'm excited to tackle that challenge, and I think a way that we could control meeting length is having a more detailed agenda. But this is also something I'd want to discuss more with other board members and see what their thoughts are on controlling our meeting lengths and limiting our executive session to when it's absolutely necessary.
Thank you.
I would like to start by thanking the Reston Association Election Committee, staff, and the community as a whole for the opportunity to speak here tonight. I hope I was able to share some insight on my experience, goals, and perspective. When I moved to Reston, I was unsure what to expect. Over the past few years, I have learned Reston is a place for everyone to thrive, and I want to ensure this atmosphere is continued for the next generation. Reston is a live, work, and play community, and I am excited to see Reston continue to be a role model for other communities throughout the Commonwealth and country. Budget awareness, open space preservation, and master planning are the pillars that I believe will continue to facilitate Reston's live, work, and play atmosphere. Thank you all for attending, and thank you for considering me, Michael Lanza, for the North Point Board of Directors seat. I welcome any and all questions at Lanza, 4, Reston, @gmail.com. Thank you.
Reston is a unique and thriving community, but we face important challenges, from rising costs to aging infrastructure and ongoing development pressures. Now more than ever, we need governance that is fiscally responsible, forward-thinking, and committed to preserving the qualities that make Reston special. With my experience in community association governance and public company boards, I bring a strong foundation in strategic planning, financial oversight, and transparent decision-making. If elected, I will work to ensure that the board listens, engages, and makes thoughtful choices that reflect the needs of our diverse community. My family and I are deeply invested in Reston's future, and I'm committed to making sure it remains a place where we can all live, work, play, and get involved. I'd be honored to serve and earn your vote. Thank you very much.